This is the Cang Toys Legend Scale Razorclaw.
And why does this figure have two robot mode heads?
Right away, this figure looks absolutely insane.
But I also want to talk about what I think is a major flaw this figure has.
He has a very jaggedy and spiked appearance to him, and he's very stylized, which some people might not like. But honestly, I'm kind of a big fan of it.
Thank you to the Shozy store for sending this to me.
This figure is based off Razorclaw, the leader of the Predacons, and this figure is a part of a combiner set that does turn into Predaking. And this figure really looks absolutely insane just from all around. There's a lot of great paintwork on here. You have some really nice tiny decals, a lot of gold on this figure, and it is pretty much entirely paint. You have his little blasters back here for the alt mode, but if you really wanted to, you could bring them out for the robot mode, and it does work that way. Other than that, you can kind of make it look like he has a bit more of a winged appearance.
By the way, if you could leave a like and comment below on this video, that would help out a ton. Let me know what figure you'd like to see me review.
The box art for this figure does look very sleek, and it's pretty much the same pictures on the back. I do love the foam packaging they give you, and we do get two extra accessories. We have this, which is supposed to be an axe of sorts. Honestly, it's a really poor looking axe. I don't like the way this looks, but I do believe this is the sword for the giant Predaking. And then we have his blaster. The design is pretty neat, and we do get a little bit of paintwork on here. Back to the figure, man, this is just really cool looking, and there's a bigger version of this that also combines into Predaking. The head sculpt for something this tiny looks very good. He does look very menacing and evil. Now let me know if you think in the comments if his face does resemble the Decepticon insignia a little bit, or maybe even kind of like Tarn. You can kind of make out his visor right above his closed off mouthpiece. This figure does have some light piping, but honestly the eyes are so small to where it just doesn't even matter. And just the rest of it looks really great. Coming down to the chest area, this does look really sick. The line face on here looks absolutely amazing. It seems like the eyes are a red translucent plastic, along with this top piece over here, and you can see that decal over there with the number 4.
Because this is the 4th figure out of a series of 6.
A lot of really good gold paint going on throughout here, and a bit of orange. I just love how sharp and edgy this looks.
And inside we do get the second head for the Predaking combined mode.
Now these parts up here I'm not the biggest fan of. It kind of covers his head at certain angles, and I feel like these could break off pretty easily. So I definitely think these should have been a lot shorter. But other than that, the rest of the head is pretty good. The teeth on here look pretty fantastic. I love the way these arms look, and these little arm cannon bits can detach. This one does come off pretty easily, I've noticed. But if we take it off, we can see another decal there, along with the way the rest of the shoulders look, and I do like the vent detail going on. Rest of the arms painted and sculpted very well. This one also being a bit jaggedy, and you can see the feet for the alt mode right over here. The hands are pretty basic stuff, not a whole lot to say. Coming down to this area of the figure, you pretty much get some skirt pieces that also have some decals and great paintwork on there. The rest of the legs look really cool, and the paint applications really sell it. I do like the tiny bits of orange this figure has on throughout it, and the rest of it is just sculpted so well in my opinion. Coming over to the back of the figure, not a whole lot to say, but I do want to talk about these bits. They look really cool in my opinion, and I feel like I say this a lot, but it does give this figure a very Gundam-y design to it. I think this makes the figure just look so much cooler,
and it does seem like there's a little scratch on mine.
But overall, such a fantastic looking figure. So how is the articulation on this figure? It's a bit hard to get at, but the head can move up and down, and you can spin it side to side. It's very hard to move. It does seem like it is on a ball joint, but it seems like these bits on the side kind of get in the way, limiting the articulation a bit. These arms can move out over there. Looks like we can rotate this, but we do have to be careful because that'll happen. But also it might run into other parts of the figure, causing it to break if we're not careful enough. So these long bits are really kind of a downside in my opinion. We do get a very good elbow bend. This hand can move as well as rotate. It is very stiff. Waist rotation, legs forward, very squeaky. Out to the side, an elbow bend, and we can move it back there. Along with that, we do get a rotation as well as some foot movement on the figure. And if we come to the back, these pieces can also move, so we can position them to our liking. Here is the alt mode for the figure, and it looks really fantastic. The jaggedy and spike design still looks really good. A lot of the detail and sculpt work is pretty much going to be the same as mentioned in the robot mode, so there's no point in going over that again. In the lion mode, his cannons are now out, and I didn't mention this earlier, but it seems like there's some missile designs over here. Now once again, even in the alt mode, I still feel like these are a bit of an issue. These might run into that and break off, and even when transforming this figure, you might accidentally break these off. Another issue when transforming this figure is the waist rotation. When you rotate, you have to rotate the waist 180 degrees, and these skirt pieces will run into the rest of the figure, so they're gonna end up getting damaged. Another weird thing is that this tail does not tap into anything, it just kind of rests there, and the instructions say to keep the back legs closed, but I prefer to keep them open, so that way you get more posability out of this. Overall though, the design for this line mode looks really cool. It kind of reminds me of a Zoid. Another thing though, you do need to be careful about the rest of these bits, because these front line legs might run into it, but articulation wise, these can move, and you pretty much get all the same same type of articulation as you would get in the robot mode. It's pretty much all the same joint in the robot mode.
You do get some tail movement.
The lion mouth can open and close, and if you pull it out, you can see his robot head there.
Hello there.
But you can also use this to your advantage to give the lion head a bit more articulation. This figure does have a combined mode, but I'm gonna wait to show that off because I'm hoping to get the rest of these figures so I can make a video of the full Predaking.
So subscribe for that. Anyways, if you want more Transformer stuff, check out this video over here. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. Maybe. Probably. I don't know.